Let's throw it open to you at home, Kirsty.
Suzanne first on line one.
Suzanne, good morning. Morning, Suzanne. Hello. She's been kidnapped by aliens.
We've got Jean on line two.
Jean, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. So, what do you know about age gap relationships, Jean?
Quite a lot. Yeah, I'm with somebody who's 16 years younger than me.
Right.
I met him when I was 59, which he knew. He was 43 and I didn't know. I thought he looked about 54. We got together. We've been together 7.5 years.
Yeah.
And he's my rock.
Right. I'd just like to know, I mean, you're still a 16-year age gap, yeah?
Yeah.
So
I'm 67 this year.
OK.
51
Would you have entertained going out with him if he was 18 and you were 18 plus 16, which is what, 38, is it?
No.
No. No, you wouldn't?
No. Because I've got children this age. And, I mean, my eldest would have been 48 this year. So, therefore, you know, the age gap, the next one down is 47. They've all accepted him. They're all, actually, the youngest one's 40 today, and they've all accepted him, and actually, they love him. So, yeah, the only thing we do disagree on is music and television.
But I think most of the rest of us would probably share that at some point. Very, very interesting, though, that if he was in his teens and the age gap was the same, that you wouldn't entertain the relationship.
No, you don't go that far. I think that's a little bit much. But, I mean, apparently we don't look much different in age. I mean, I know that's sad for him, but it's good for me.
All right. No need to boast. Thank you for the call. Let's have another. Go on.
We've managed to get Suzanne back on line
brilliant.
one.
Suzanne, good morning.
Yeah, hi, good morning.
And your thoughts, please, Suzanne?
I'd just like to say that several years ago, when I was 48, I had a fling while I was abroad, I hastily add, with a 28-year-old.
Right.
And I took it for what it was.
Which was what?
When he decided to come over to England, I'd given him my phone number, why I cannot think, and he rang me and he wanted to meet up. And I made all excuses, and I absolutely was not going to go there, because I think what you do away from your patch is one thing, but I could not have been seen to be hanging around with somebody who was 20 years younger than myself.
Why, Suzanne?
And I actually think that if the guy's in his 30s and he gets with an older woman, then that's, I think, a bit more acceptable. But I think a guy of 19 or around that age mark, they haven't lived life. They don't know what life's about. And what on earth could you have in common with somebody who's... You know, what could you have in common with somebody so much younger than yourself?
Suzanne, shush, please! I just want to ask you a question. Right, good. When you first had the fling on holiday, you said you just took it for what it was.
Yeah.
And I asked right at the beginning, so forgive me for coming back to it and losing my rag, but what was it that it was? Just sex, or...?
Well, I think probably, as far as he was concerned, and because I was much older, I was much wiser. So consequently, I looked at it, you know, as soon as I get back on that plane, who's perhaps going to be the next one, and the next one, etc.
Compartmentalised.
I wasn't prepared to make a fool of myself, and I think I find it very queasy when I see much older women with younger guys. I think it's queasy.
What about much older men with younger women? Does that make you feel queasy? Oh God, Suzanne, thank you. Too much time. Sorry. Great call. Nice to have a debate. Let's have one more.
On line three, we've got Sarah.
Sarah, good morning.
Good morning.
And your thoughts, please.
Sorry?
Your thoughts, please.
Well, I married a gentleman who was 10 years younger than me, and he was 21. And at the time, I had a lot of problems from his family about him marrying me. How long
had you been dating prior to the marriage?
He was my best friend. I actually knew him for about 2 years before we actually got together.
Right.
And then when we did get together, the family had issues with it and confronted me with it and told me how they felt. Which didn't particularly bother me at the time. But what did surprise me was that the mother in concern was 12 years younger than my husband's father. But she said she couldn't explain why, but she said that wasn't a problem.
So would you say, Sarah, to go back to the question I asked right at the beginning of this, that it is now more socially acceptable for older women to be with younger guys?
No, I don't think so. It's the comment we've just recently split, and he's now with somebody 15 years younger than him. And the comments that I'm getting now is that, well, what did you expect? You know, they're not letting me have my grieving, if you put it that way, that I've lost my marriage. It's, well, what do you expect? You married a bloke who was younger than you. You must have expected him to go off with a younger girl, you know. And I said I didn't, not in any shape or form. At the time, I found it acceptable, but now, looking back on it, I don't think I'd ever consider sort of doing it again, because now I'm in my late 40s, I feel like I've been abandoned, and he's starting his life, and everybody thinks he's doing the right thing, and he's the best thing since sliced bread.
Sarah, don't forget, you never know what's around the corner. It could be a beautiful sunny day. The other thing is that, I mean, your comments just echo both what Stephen and Dawn were saying. One, that people say horribly cruel things, and two, that people stick their noses in where they don't deserve to go. I'm sorry it didn't end perfectly, but as Dawn said, don't forget, loads of marriages between people of exactly the same age end every day, every single day. So who knows whether age had anything to do with it. Thank you for the call.